All right, welcome back into the Doop podcast. Zero, thank you for listening. Before we get to the bad, and believe me, there's a lot of bad, let's get to the good. And the good right now with the Philadelphia Union is Baribo, the striker from Israel, who has just been on a tear lately since the selling of Julian Carranza. Something that the club really needed. This is a guy that hasn't been playing much for a year with the club since he signed, and he really wasn't fitting in, for a while because his play time was kind of sparse. It's probably why he wasn't producing as much, but since he's been given the reins right now, he's been on an absolute tear. He was the top scorer in the Leagues Cup tournament, and that goes for not only our team, but the whole tournament, for any team. He was the top scorer. He has just been leading by example up front. He's been scoring all sorts of different types of goals inside the box, outside the box. Fantastic finishes, being in the right place at the right time. He's doing the off the ball work as well. Really, really hustles and gives it his all. I absolutely love watching Baribo play right now. He's just giving it his all, and he is leaving it on the field. He's not settling for anything. He wants to keep going, and that is such a good mentality to have when it comes to playing, especially in Philadelphia. But he just isn't getting much help. So yeah, he's been scoring a lot, but he's not getting much help from others. Like Gozdog's gotten a few, yeah. Ua really needs to start scoring some goals, like big time. He's been getting chances and just hasn't been finishing. It just isn't. Since Carranza left, Ua's looked even less like himself. But Baribo's taken off, Gozdog's still our top overall scorer this season, but Baribo is not far behind. He's catching up quite fast, actually. And they really rely on Baribo right now to get the goals, because we're not getting goals out of midfield right now. Not even our defenders are scoring. I know Glesnes had a goal kind of recently, but we're not getting much else. It's just the offense is kind of drying up. We really need help from others, but it's just not happening. And this club obviously is in a lot of disarray right now. We're outside the playoff picture. The Leagues Cup is over, which we finished fourth in. That was a mess. I guess I'll talk about the Mazatlan game before I go into the game against Colorado, the third place game. Oh wait, no, it wasn't Colorado. It was it Columbus? It was Columbus. Columbus was the semifinal game. So the game before that against Mazatlan. Let's talk about staying on the topic of Baribo. He gets sent off in the first half after who knows what. That was the worst refereeing I've ever seen in my life. Even the announcers couldn't believe it was a red card. And everybody's thinking, how the heck did this guy get 2 yellows for that? So basically, Baribo was booked on a play where there was a set piece. He's running towards the box, and it's a little coming together of 2 players. You know what happens every set piece, every corner kick, there's players bumping bodies. That's what happened. It was no malicious intent. There was nothing. There's nothing in it whatsoever. So the Mazatlan player falls to the ground acting like he died. What does the ref do? He gives Baribo a yellow card. Okay, that's stupid. Why did you give him a yellow for that? So we push on past that. What a stupid dive. That was basically, by the way, guys, that was Mazatlan's whole game plan, was to dive and get players sent off. I'm not even kidding. That was their game plan. It was pathetic. Absolutely. I've never seen a team with a more pathetic game plan. And guess what? Even though we went down a man, we still beat them. They still couldn't beat us a man up, because their whole game plan was to try and dive and get players sent off. It was absolutely pathetic. I don't know who's teaching them that, but that's not how you play soccer, for sure. That is just a disgrace. I've never been so disgraced by another team in my life. But anyways, so yeah, he gets the first yellow card, right? And moments later, there's another corner kick for the Union, right? and they play it in. So Baribo again makes his run towards the box. Mazatlan player stands in front of him, blocking him. Baribo kind of runs into him, right? He puts, his shoulder goes into like his chest area a little bit. There's nothing. There's not even like, it's not even a hard play at all. The Mazatlan player falls down holding his face as if he got punched in the face. And he's rolling around. Baribo's like, what is he doing? Like, why is he on the ground? I barely touched him. So what does the ref do? The ref gives a straight red card. A straight red card. He already gave Baribo a yellow card for the all other play. He gives him a straight red. So at this point, I'm pissed off. I'm absolutely pissed off. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Our player in the best form is getting sent off for this bullshit. So I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. There's definitely a conspiracy here going on. Either the ref is racist against Baribo or there's something else going on, because this is crazy. Because so then the ref gets a call in the ear from, team upstairs saying, you got to take a look at this play, review it. So I'm like, okay, he's reviewing it, so surely he's gonna fix this, right? So he takes his time reviewing the play. You don't even need to look at it more than once to know that it's a dive by this Mazatlan player. Even the announcers are like, there's nothing in that. There's no way you can give a second yellow for that. There's no way you can give a red card for that. It's not even a foul. So when the ref comes back from his review, what does he do? Oh, he wipes away the red card. Oh, no red card, my mistake. But here's a second yellow, and you're sent off anyways. So he gives him another yellow card. He downgrades it to a yellow card, and obviously he still gets sent off because of the other bullshit yellow card. So Baribo's sent off in the first half for no reason. It's so pathetic. I can't believe the ref did this. It is one of the worst officiating things. I've seen some bad refereeing in my days, believe me. In any league you name, any tournament. But that was so bad. I don't know how this ref hasn't been investigated, hasn't been fired. I don't even know where they got him from. But my goodness, he has a vendetta against Baribo or the union or something. So Baribo sent off. Obviously we went down to 10 men the rest of the game. We battled on. We wanted to shoot out. Mazatlan still couldn't beat us. So eat it, Mazatlan. You still couldn't beat us without our best player on the field and down a man. So that kind of pertains to how the semifinal of the Leagues Cup goes against the Columbus Crew. So we're without Ty Baribo, our best informed player, the top scorer from the tournament, has to miss the semifinal because of the stupid red card that he got in that game. So already we're up against it. We're on the road against the Crew. We lose 3-1. Okay, fair enough. The Union put out a good effort, but again, couldn't get it done in the big game. We were without Ty Baribo. He should have been there. It wasn't fair, but we lost. Fair play to the Crew. Another person we were missing was Jose Martinez, because the club sold him. I'll get to that in a moment. That's another thing that pisses me off about this club right now. And believe me, I'm not the only one pissed off at this club right now. There's a lot of fans. Seats are beginning to get empty. It's getting really bad around these Union parts. Let me tell you. Now I'm watching from afar. I don't live in Market. I live across the other side of the country. So I can't even tell you everything that's going on inside those walls or, in the stands, all that. I can't even pretend, but I can kind of accumulate everything and kind of figure it out for myself. I could see the comments coming in, people really pissed about ownership more than anything, as they should be. We all should be. If you're a Philadelphia Union fan right now and you're not mad at the ownership, then either the ownership is buying you off or you're like family to them or something. There's no reason why you wouldn't be pissed off at them unless you like personally are like family to them or something. I don't know. Otherwise, there's no way you can like really support what they're doing right now. Again, I'll get to that in just a moment. Let me finish up the Leagues Cup thing. So yeah, we lose to the Crew, then we go to the third place game. Third place game against the Colorado Rapids in Philadelphia. I was disgusted by the team's performance in the second half. We looked like we wanted to get to a shootout. The whole second half. Colorado kept coming at us. By the way, guess who scored for us again? 2 goals. Baribo, his return back from his suspension. He scored 2 goals. He wanted it. He was probably pissed off he didn't get to play in the semifinal and instead playing in the stupid third place game. But there's a spot in the CONCACAF Champions Cup up for grabs, so the third place game has everything to play for. The Union acted like they didn't care, other than Baribo and maybe Andre Blake. They played without energy in the second half, without urgency, and they look like, oh, let's get to a shootout. Which we, all know how those go. So yeah, we got to a shootout. Colorado tied the game 2-2. And they wanted it more. And Colorado won it. Zach Steffen made some big saves. We took some poor penalties. And we lost. And guess what? All that Leagues Cup run, nothing to show for it. Nothing. Not a spot in the Champions Cup, no money, nothing. Just a bunch of wasted games. The only thing I could say is that at least we got game time, like actual game time, without having to take a long break before MLS resumes. But my goodness, they did not want that game. Like, it was so frustrating to watch that second half. It's like the Union just stopped caring. It's like, oh, we're Colorado's on the front foot. Oh, okay, well, I guess we'll just let them continue to be on the front foot. I mean, we're at home, doesn't matter to us. It was pathetic. This team's starting to give up, you can see it. So our first MLS game back after Leagues Cup at home against the Crew. Crew were playing their second and third string players because they just won the Leagues Cup, by the way. So the Crew are resting their stars. We're playing our A team, and guess what? We lose 1-0 to the Crew. We lose to them again. And when they were playing their B squad 75% of the game. Again, the urgency wasn't there. The first 5-10 minutes of the game, the Union looked like they wanted it, but they didn't capitalize, they didn't score, and then they just kind of started sitting back, and they started creating less and less, and they just let the Crew have more and more of the ball, and their confidence grew, and they stopped testing the goalkeeper, and it was like, you can't just stop and expect, to get different results. You have to keep going. You have to keep up the urgency. We're in a playoff race still in the MLS. And again, acted like there was no urgency. And we ended up losing 1-0 at home and lost at home yet again. It's just so frustrating. But I know these players have been putting out a good effort all season for the most part. This coach, Jim Curtin, has been doing the best he can. You know what part of this is? We don't have the talent anymore. We don't. Our bench is nothing anymore. We're literally relying on like a 37-year-old Alejandro Bedoya to start or come off the bench and make huge impact. And really, that's not his game anymore. I love Bedoya to death. He's one of my favorite Union players, maybe my favorite of all time. But his career's at the end here. We can't expect him to be the one driving us forward right now. He's the captain. He's doing his thing. He plays fine. He scored some goals this year. He has some assists. But we're also relying on these inexperienced kids. That's the thing with this club. I like that we're trying to build up youth players to be good, but man, we are really relying on that. And then when anybody gets good, we just sell them. So we talked about them selling Carranza earlier in the season, right? That sucked. During a horrible run, let's just get rid of our best striker. The only silver lining is that Baribo's come in and played really well, but we still aren't getting enough out of Ua or Chris Donovan. Donovan doesn't even play anymore. And who do we sign in place of Sam Adeniran? Sam Adeniran's come in here and he's done nothing. He's looked horrible. I'm still willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's still kind of new, but he's gotten enough game time right now to figure something out and to make an impact, and he really hasn't. He's missed some sitters. His penalty kick take in the shootout against Mazatlan was a joke. He's been arguing with teammates visibly on the field. So I don't know. You literally got rid of Carranza to bring this guy in? For like, what? Carranza was literally one of our best strikers, maybe our best striker ever, besides maybe what Baribo might be doing. I know there's Sebastian Latou. He was technically a winger. I'm talking like true number 9s up top. I think Carranza was probably our most overall best one up to this point. Deneren's done nothing. And now Curtin didn't even play him in the last game because he can see it too that Deneren's not offering us anything. We got him for super cheap, by the way, way less than what we sold Carranza for, mind you, of course, because the ownership can't be bothered to spend money. So, they're going to be like, oh, this guy, he's really cheap. Let's buy him. Look, we bought somebody. Look, we got somebody. We spent money. Screw you, ownership. You can't just buy anybody and expect us to be happy. You got to buy the right players. You can buy a great player for cheap, and it could be more valuable than an expensive player. It's about buying the right players. It's about that they don't even go after any of the big players. They don't even bother to try to get these big name players in anymore. They're just like, let's just scout around and these most obscure players and leagues as we can and try to buy the cheapest guys we can that might fit into our system so we can sell them for double later. And all these academy kids that get good, yeah, let's sell them to Europe as soon as we get an offer, any offer. It's pathetic. All they care about is the green. They don't care about the result on the field. This franchise ownership does not care about trophies or the results on the field. If they did, the club would not be where it's at right now. We're 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, we were moments away from winning MLS Cup. And instead of adding talent to be like, all right, let's get over the top. Let's win that cup. Let's go win that Leagues Cup. We were in the semifinals last year too for the Leagues Cup. We were semifinals in the Champions Cup. Come on. Let's get a few big players in here and let's win some trophies. No. Let's start selling all of our talent. Screw that. Screw trying to win trophies. How can I make more money for myself? Jay Sugarman's in there rolling in his green. I just need more money. Give me more money. Who can we sell next? So yeah, they sell Carranza, and I mentioned it earlier. So now, what do? Out of nowhere, Jose Martinez sold to Corinthians in Brazil during the Leagues Cup run while we're battling for a playoff spot in MLS. Let's sell another one of our best players, who is arguably the best number 6 in the league. We all know how important Jose Martinez is to this team and how important he's been to the team's success over the last few seasons. So, yeah, let's sell him. That's fine. I mean, so we didn't have him for the final of our Leagues Cup run, and now he's, obviously he's gone. I wish him the best. Jose Martinez was a joy to watch here. And they bring in another player. So then they go, again, probably for cheaper than we sold Martinez, but we brought in this Haitian midfielder I've never heard of, Danley Jean-Jacques. Okay, so he's the Martinez replacement. You can't really replace Martinez because he played enough ground for 2 people on the pitch. And this guy's played a few games, Danley Jean-Jacques. He looks okay. He doesn't look bad. He seems more serviceable than Sam Adeniran. But he's not a Jose Martinez replacement. He's got speed. He looks like he wants to get the ball moving quickly. That's good. He has experience in France. Like I said, he might be a decent pickup. But you're not going to get that same kind of effect out of him like you got from Jose Martinez. Because who else is going to give that to you? Instead of trying to keep Jose Martinez. So we lost him. We lost Carranza. We all know they loaned out Brandon Craig again. They loaned out Matt Real, I think. There's all these players that they had on the bench that could have provided more depth this year that they just decided not to have, because that's the Union. That's the Union way. It doesn't stop there. So I've been talking about how thin we are at center back, right? With Lowe, Glesnes, and Elliott, and nothing else right now. And how Glesnes hasn't been his best this year. Elliott at times hasn't been his best. Lowe's been okay this year. He's actually been pretty good, Damian Lowe. He's been very useful when he's stepped in, to give those guys a rest. By the way, they just sold Damian Lowe. So Damian Lowe's gone now too. Yes, he was going to be a free agent, but they didn't bring anything in return for him either. So Damian Lowe's gone. So we have no depth at center back right now. God forbid Jacob Glesnes or Jack Elliott gets injured right now, because we have no other center back to back them up. There's nobody. We'll have to bring in an inexperienced homegrown player that's never played before to step in during a playoff run, because that's what our bench basically is now. Homegrowns. Inexperience. And the obvious replacement in there would be Harriel, who's a right back, who's our starting right back right now. They would slot him into center back maybe, and you move Bizo. But guess what? Harriel just got injured in the last game. So your only potential backup for center back, who by the way isn't even really a center back, just got injured. So now you have, not only do you have no backup at center back, you also have no backup at right back right now. Great job. Great job building the team and making sure we have cover everywhere. They've ridden these players to death this year without depth. So we have there's nothing. There's nothing. And there's talks of Jack McGlynn being sold. I've heard Kai Wagner could be gone. We already know Kevin Sullivan, who's not even going to play for 2 years, basically. We already know he's going to be sold when he's 18. So we might get a season, maybe two if we're lucky, with him actually playing. I mean, that was one of the signs that one of the players they brought in this year, homegrown, talented. They built up Kevin Sullivan like they're going to be playing him, but no, they're not playing him. They played him one game for like 5 minutes. He's going to sit on the bench the rest of the year and play for the Union too. He's not going to play for us. Next year will probably be the same thing. I'd love to see him play. He's probably better than half the team right now, but probably offers something different. He just probably doesn't have the strength to play in MLS yet. The body strength to shake off challenges at his age. But it's just frustrating. They just keep selling off their talent and getting nothing. Again, Sam Adeniran is not... That's a quick Band-Aid fix for... our backup forwards are Adeniran and Donovan. Neither one of them has scored for us this entire season. Adeniran might have had 1 or 2 goals for St. Louis this year or something. I don't know. But he has not been good since he's come in here. He just looks out of place. I said I'm still willing to see if Adeniran can make something happen, but his playtime's starting to diminish because Curtin can see he's not doing anything. So at least he's smartly not playing him right now. We all know Bedoya, this is probably his last year. Probably going to lose him. So he'll be gone. I think that's it for this run for this team. We're still gonna have Kai, we're still gonna have Glesnes and Blake maybe for another year or two. But I don't know, Gazdag. I feel like Gazdag could be on his way out soon. I don't know. This club's gonna try to sell anybody at this point. By the way, transfer window's closed too, so they sold all this talent and they didn't bring back enough depth to help us go right now. Funny thing is, as bad as we've been, we're still in the playoff race. With a game against the New York Red Bulls coming up in just about an hour's time from this moment of this recording of this podcast. A team that's only lost 4 games all year, the Red Bulls, somehow. They've tied a lot of games. But this is a must-win for the Union. We are a point out of the playoffs right now. We don't really have games in hand. There's a couple teams right on our tail. And there's only realistically 2 teams in the playoff race that we can kind of catch. So this is a must-win for us today against the Red Bulls. I'm not expecting any miracles with the way this team's been playing. We had a decent run in Leagues Cup because Andre Blake's return from his injury. He's been a big boost, obviously, when you get a guy like Andre Blake back in. The best keeper in MLS, but he can't do it on his own. Obviously, he can't score goals for us. He also can't play defense for us, because our defense is going to suck even more now without Martinez, and it has since he's left the club a few games. Our defense has been very vulnerable. And we have the same two center backs playing every single game. They're going to tire out a bit. Just like I'm tiring out about talking about these owners and how pathetic and greedy they are. They have to sell this team. Sell this team to an ownership that will actually give a damn about the results on the field. Ownership that will actually spend some money to try and win some trophies and win some games. Look at Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. These two actors from Hollywood have come in out of nowhere, bought this bottom tier English, or I should say Welsh team playing in England, or the English lowest tier, Wrexham. What did they do? Did they just say, oh, look at this, we bought this team, oh, it's publicity? They went out and they spent a hell of a ton of money. They're at a lot of the games. Look at that club climbing the rankings now because they're willing to spend the money because they want to win. They want to see results. They want to see this club get back into the Premier League after a long spell not in top tier English football. These are actors. Hell, Rob McElhenney's from Philly, dude. Please, Rob, buy the Union. You guys will do a hell of a better job owning the club than Jay Sugarman could ever do. Kevin Durant's part owner of this team. I've never seen Durant in any of the games. I don't even think Durant even knows he owns the Union anymore or has like stake in him. I doubt he's spending any of his own money. He's more like just like a stockholder, I think. Jay Sugarman just cares about the money. He doesn't care about results and winning games and fans. Like, do you know that one of the more recent Union home games, I guess, or during this season, anyways, people were bringing signs, that were anti Jay Sugarman. Basically, they weren't anything like really mean. They were just saying, Sugarman out or whatever. They had people go up in the stands and remove those signs. So it just goes to show you that Jay Sugarman's probably bribed so many people within this organization to say, hey, don't make me look so bad, or else I'll have your job. He's pathetic. He's absolutely pathetic. Get this guy out of here. And then you can go to the town hall thing or whatever, and you can listen to the BS that he's going to feed you. But it's not true. I don't know how any fans have bought into any of his BS that he says. I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. You know what will make me like you, Jay Sugarman? If you sell the team and admit that you were a terrible owner, that you didn't care. Be honest. Be honest about it. Be like, you know what? I don't care about this team. I don't care about the results. I don't care about the fans. I cared about this as a business only and wanted to make some money. I'm going to sell the team. If you come out and say that in a press conference and resign or sell the team after that, I'll at least have a little bit of respect for you for at least being honest and true about what's really going on rather than trying to sugarcoat it or BS everybody. It pisses me off, guys. We all love this club. We all deserve better. How are teams that have been in the league for no time at all, light years ahead of us in terms of results, even trophies? You want to know why? Because they have owners who care. They have owners who will spend money. They have ambition. They want to win trophies. The only thing good about the way our club's being built right now, with yes, the sustainability. Yes, we have this great youth system, and you never have to change that. You can go out and spend money on big players. You don't have to change your youth system. We're still going to play the kids. We're still going to, produce great quality with some of our younger players. It's still going to happen, but they just don't want to spend the money on these big players. They just don't want to do it. We are one of the bottom spending teams in MLS every single season, like bottom 3, bottom 4 at most. Every season. But guess who is one of the top 2 clubs over the past 4 or 5 years in terms of gathering points? It's us. Could you imagine how many trophies we could have won if we actually went out and bought big time players with real game-changing quality talent? We could have won several trophies by now. We probably could have won maybe a Leagues Cup, maybe even a Champions Cup, definitely an MLS Cup, maybe an Open Cup too, if we were top spending. So when you look at those numbers and then you see Jim Curtin, what an amazing job he's done. This guy is getting no help from the ownership, and he's leading a team that's one of the bottom spending teams in the league to consistency over 5-6 years. One of the top teams in terms of gathering points total. It's insane. Kudos to Jim Curtin. He's a hell of a coach. Because without him, where would we be, honestly? This club would have never been anywhere near any of these trophies, I don't think. And people are still calling for him to get fired like this is his fault right now. But, like, seriously, are you that, like... Do you not understand what's going on? How can you blame any of this on Jim Curtin? Does he always pull the right strings and push the right buttons with substitutions and game plans? No, of course not. But what Jim Curtin does do is he adapts. He changes game plans. He doesn't stick with the same formation. And he definitely knows when players are playing well and gives them a shot in there and gives them playing time. He has a good feel for that, I think. When players are playing well, he will run them out there till the hot streak wears off, basically. And he gets the most out of these players that you normally shouldn't be competing as much as we are. So he's doing a hell of a job. He really is. He's doing the best he can with what he's been given, which is not much. And all he's doing is losing talent every year. Every year now, we seem to be losing more talent than gaining it. And it's true. It's getting worse and worse right now. And that's what the big issue is here, is that we're not trying to go over the top. Most clubs in our situation would be like, oh damn, we're like always in and around all these trophies. Let's buy a few really good players. Let's try to get in, a big internationally known player in here to help us put us over the top. Nope, not us. Absolutely not. All Sugarman's looking at is he's waiting for his phone to ring and hearing offers for any player. Hell, he'd probably sell any player on this team for $1,000 in Xbox Game Pass if it meant more money in his pockets. It's pathetic. Gonna watch the game today. I'm not expecting a win. A tie doesn't really do us any good, but I guess it's better than a loss. If we win this game today, show some grit, show some fight, some urgency, there might be hope that we can get in the playoffs. There's still a big chance we can make it to the playoffs. Turnaround starts today. That last game against Columbus at home, we should have been more urgent and gotten the result out of, especially when they were playing their B squad. Now against New York on the road, we have to go at them. Will Baribo have another game? Baribo needs some help up there. He needs somebody else to start scoring some goals. We can't just rely on him. Ty Baribo. Whatever they're paying him, by the way, they should double it. I'm sure they aren't paying Baribo enough money for what he's been doing lately. If anything, though, I have no doubt Jay Sugarman will probably sell Baribo. I don't know what his contract is, but as soon as it's up, I'll probably be like, oh, look how good Baribo's doing for us. Probably get an offer for good money, and he'll be out the door quicker than he could say his name, probably. That's just how it is. Can't get attached to these players anymore because they're just going to sell them. No remorse for the fans, but the stands are getting more and more empty. Fans are getting more and more restless. And frankly, that's what we need. I want to see more empty seats in the Union games. It breaks my heart, but at the same time, it's the only way we can really start to try to get the message through. If he stops selling tickets, merch, concessions, they're going to get desperate and they're like, okay, maybe we have to sell this team before we start losing money. Or maybe we have to bring in some top talent here to get people back in the stands, right? That's what it takes. But we have so many loyal Union fans right now. It's like, I know it's hard to stay away from the park, believe me. If I lived over there and I had season tickets, man, I'd still want to go to the game just because I freaking love the team and I love the sport. It's just passion, man. It's just passion. By the way, I've heard a lot of people saying that they're not renewing their season tickets either because they've had enough. So they're losing season ticket holders too. Probably desperately calling them, coming up with any excuse to try to get them to renew. Like, we're gonna spend money on players next year. Oh, we're gonna be great. Oh, we'll give you like a discount on the hot dogs. Like, what are they gonna do to coerce us to come in? To coerce those season ticket holders to come in, game out, when the ownership has shown no interest in providing them with a quality on the field anymore. It's been like this since the Union's inception, though. We've gotten lucky over the past 5 or 6 years with some great homegrown talent and some great signings from Ernst Tanner and some hell of a good coaching from Jim Curtin to have us, I said, sustain this quality of point level that we've gotten over the past several seasons and this close we've gotten to trophies. But our luck's running out now, you know? It's like we need talent. We actually, they need, big talent. And these players, they've given it their all, most of them, you know? I can't sit here and blame the players either. That's why I'm not sitting here pointing out all of them anymore, you know? It's like, yes, I've ripped into players before, and they should be ripped into when they're not performing well. Because you've seen them do better at times. But right now, the biggest issue with this club is the lack of talent. And the lack of ambition from the ownership. That's what it is. You know, it's not our youth system. We have the best youth system in MLS. It's not our coach. We have one of the best coaches in MLS. Our players that are here are still putting out an effort. They're not giving up on the coach, which is a good sign. That means they still believe in Jim Curtin. That means they still have good leadership from Bedoya and Blake. Elliott. But these players have got to be frustrated as hell. We know Kai's been frustrated with ownership. I can't blame him one bit. It just... I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm kind of exhausting myself here with this, but it's the real state of the club. But one thing for sure, I'm looking forward to watching Ty Baribo play again today. He's been a joy to watch lately. I hope he scores some more goals for us. The Union have to win today. Let's hope next Union podcast I have a lot more good things to talk about with this club, at least in terms of the way they're playing, the results on the field. Obviously, there's nothing that's going to change this season the rest of the way with the ownership. But right now, it's all up to the players and the coach to put all that aside and just try to make the playoffs. Watch this be the year we win like MLS Cup for some reason. That'd be hilarious. Like we sneak in the playoffs and somehow make it all the way there. I wouldn't even believe that. That'd be insane. Because then the ownership would have absolutely no excuse. I mean, no ambition whatsoever to buy any other players after that. They'd be like, look, we won MLS Cup. We don't need anybody else. Oh boy, but you know, I want to talk about another team for a second here. I think I'm done with the Union for now. I just want to mention Marco Royce with the LA Galaxy. What a signing that is. Unbelievable. That's what I'm talking about. We never go after players like that. Imagine if we brought in Marco Royce. I actually think Marco Royce would have fit beautifully into our team. Beautifully. You could have played him, you know, as a winger, where like on the side where maybe Bedoya would play, or McGlynn or Sullivan, kind of swap them around. You could play him in tandem with Gazdag just behind Baribo, and he would have been great there too. I really think Royce, and obviously German speaking, we already have 2 German players on the team, Kai Wagner, Oliver Zemla. He would have been able to communicate and been easier to transition. But of course he went to the Galaxy. I mean, I really like the Galaxy. I've talked about it before. I love watching them play this season. They're absolutely beautiful to watch. They went out. Talk about a club that's like, yeah, we're going to spend money, of course. Went out and bought Gabriel Peck, Paintsil, Yamane. They went and got Yoshida. They got Diego Fagundes, and now they go out and get Marco Reus to go along. That offense is insane. Marco Reus, yes, towards the end of his career, but man, he showed in his first Galaxy game, he is such a smart player. He made everything look so effortless and easy. He's cool and calm on the ball. Flowed right in. Goal and assist in his debut with the Galaxy. Him with Ricky Puig, Paintsil, Peck, Joveljic, Fagundes, Yamane. That's an insane attack right there. Insane. The only thing I think the Galaxy have to shore up is their defense. They're kind of like midfield coverage, and their goaltending, probably not the best, but should be enough talent to get them to the MLS Cup, no doubt. So I mean, I'm so happy to have Marco Reus in the league. It's just amazing. It's amazing to see these players coming in here. So the Galaxy went out and signed younger talent like Paintsil and Peck, and now they bring in a veteran talent like Reus, and I should say Puig as well for the younger talent. So the Galaxy, man, it must be fun to be a fan of that team over the years. They said they're one of my favorite teams for sure, but I would never root for them over the Union or anything, obviously. You kind of envy what other teams do. What other teams sign, Columbus, Miami, even like New England. Look at that, they just signed Luca from Argentina, Luca Langoni, I believe his name is, something like that. They went out and spent some money. Colorado is much improved. They went out and picked up some players, like Georgi Mihalovic. Hell, even Charlotte's getting more. They've been linked to a lot of players lately. There's when I got Tim Ream. Like, Charlotte's been doing stuff. Cincinnati obviously has been spending a lot of money past few years. Like, look at these are clubs that have barely been in the league, and they're already light years ahead of us in terms of like going after talent and spending money and trying to get trophies and stuff. It's like the Union just don't care. It's like, oh, the Union, like, oh, cool, Marco Reus. Oh, well, that's cool. Let's go scout the 3rd division in this whatever country and bring in this no-name player for as cheap as we can get. That's what they do. But anyways, yeah, Marco Reus, great to have him in the league. Welcome to the league, Marco Reus. He is my friend Nick's favorite player in soccer, so good to have him in the league. Looking forward to watching him play more and more. And about to get ready to go watch the Union game, guys. Thank you all for listening so much. I'm probably just going to upload this straight away to YouTube. This will probably be going as the Union game begins. Thanks for listening to the Doop podcast, guys. What can the Union turn this season around? Doesn't look likely, but we're going to have a lot to talk about in the offseason if other big changes come. Big changes need to come to the ownership, that's for sure, and talent needs to come in. But I appreciate all of you so much for taking the time to listen to this passion from a Union fan since day one. Till next time, 0 is the number.